Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed right here on Gorilla Cross. I'm your host, Quan59, and we have a dope, that's my phone being up too loud. Wait, that's not my phone. That's Frank's phone being too loud. How long you been doing this? Tragic. We have Tragic Johnson in the building, Frank Pina. How you doing, Frank?
My volume's down now.
Your volume's down now. That's good.
Yeah.
And we got Dre Bailey in the building.
What's up? Yeah, I wasn't traded from Let the Ball Bounce to Unnamed Sports. It's just guest appearance.
It's just a guest appearance. He didn't get traded on NBA trade deadline, so we're not going to talk about anything else except the NBA. All the trades that have happened. We have a 22-minute window of trades that could still happen before noon Pacific time out here in Vegas. We are broadcasting live from the Gorilla Cross studio in downtown Las Vegas, home of Unnamed Sports Show, Let the Ball Bounce. They've been with us for 5 years in this building, 2 or 3 in another building. So they've been a part of Gorilla Cross for a while. So you can check out Dre Bailey every Saturday, 2 p.m. West Coast time on Let the Ball Bounce. Make sure you check out their YouTube channel and subscribe. You can check out Frank on Into the West Comics, which is coming back tonight. How do you feel about that, Frank?
It's nice to get back at it. We're excited. We're going to be on a new time tonight, 7 o'clock.
That's great. No one cares because this is a sports show.
You got it, buddy.
Double check them out. Into the West Comics on YouTube.
Boom.
Everything, man. Marvel movies, DC movies, comic books, all that nerdy stuff. But listen, a lot of trades have happened. The biggest one that's happened since the last time we were on, obviously we talked about Luka the other night on Monday, but Jimmy Butler said he wouldn't re-sign or sign an extension with the Warriors, and the lie detector test determined that was a lie because he gets traded to the Warriors and signs a 2-year extension for I think $120 million extension, something like that. So he got paid, he got his money, and he got to go to the West Coast and play with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. And there's a lot of other trades that have happened that are in the middle of happening, some rumors happening. But I do want to jump in this Jimmy Butler trade right away and get your guys' thoughts on that. Me and Dre, we were texting last night a little bit, and we talked about it. 35-year-old guy, you traded a young, who's still young, Andrew Wiggins, been playing good, kind of in and out of the lineup with the Warriors the past couple years, dealing with some personal issues and injuries and different things like that. But Dre, what's your thought on this fit? Golden State had to make a move, but was this the right move to make? And there was the rumors of them trying to get Kevin Durant, and obviously that didn't work. He didn't want to go back there. He let them know he didn't want to go back there. So just what are your thoughts on this? Does this make the Warriors better? Is this a move that's going to make them good this year and next year and possibly help Steph win another ring?
Well, you bring in Jimmy Buckets and you get rid of Andrew Wiggins. And so if you're going player for player, of course I'm going to take Jimmy Buckets over Andrew Wiggins. You're going to get defense with both, but you're going to get a little bit of a dog more in Jimmy Buckets. You're going to get scoring with both. You're going to get a better score with Jimmy Buckets. I think it's going to be an upgrade for Golden State Warriors. I don't know if it takes them over the top, but at the same time, you're going to have a dog in the playoff, a person that will, go to war with you. He's able to knock down the 15-footer. He can be a mid-range guy. He doesn't shoot threes very well, but you don't need him to shoot threes. You got other guys on the Golden State Warriors team that can do that. So if he can command that 15 feet out and really, drive into the bucket, because I think that's what they miss also is a person that could actually get his own shot outside of Steph Curry. Steph Curry can get his shot off, whether it's, off the dribble, going to a layup or shooting threes. But Jimmy Bucket, he's more of a one-on-one guy, and so he could take his guy off the dribble to the bucket every time. And I think that adds a little bit of a dimension that they didn't have with Wiggins, and somebody that's better at that position. So I think they're upgraded in that position. I don't know if it necessarily takes them over the edge. And in my opinion, I think this loyalty that they're showing Draymond Green is going to haunt them for years to come, because you're still holding on to this guy, and you get a lot of Golden State Warriors saying, well, he's the glue and he's the key, but what is he doing? He's not doing anything.
What are you gluing together?
Right. So
Frank.
I agree with a lot of what Dre said. We had this conversation, it seems like about a year ago.
We did.
When we were talking about Draymond moving and them deciding between keeping Clay around or keeping Draymond at the time when Clay was still on the Warriors. I don't know if this helps them. It helps in the short term. He signed the 2-year extension with them after he said he wouldn't sign the extension. I don't know how far this puts them over the top. Their odds did not change that much.
Yeah.
They were like 25-1, I think, prior to the trade, and now they're 30-1 as of this morning. So it didn't really change it. It made it a little worse. I don't know how he plays with Steph and Draymond. He has a great basketball IQ. He's played with a lot of guys throughout the league. This is like his 5th team.
Yeah.
Right? 4th, 5th team. He's played with a lot of guys throughout the years, and I think that it could be a interesting impact. But I think all of this movement to, if you've seen the trades that have been happening the last few days, going back to Saturday night, everybody's been coming into the Western Conference for the most part, other than the Middleton for Kuzma swap. Everybody's been coming into the Western Conference. It made the Western Conference teams stronger. The two younger teams, Quan and Dre, Houston and the Thunder, didn't really make moves, and they're staying pat.
Yeah, because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of young guys that, if you're talking about Houston, they have a lot of young guys that they are starting to go into their bench and bring in and didn't know that they had some gems over there. And so Houston is doing well, and OKC is doing well too. So.
Yeah, has Golden State failed? We had those couple years where they had a lot of first-round draft picks, right? And they traded some away, and then they used some. Dude from Memphis, what was his name? First pick.
Oh, for Memphis.
He played with Penny Hardaway. I can't even think of his name because he's barely in the league anymore.
Who played with Penny Hardaway?
Well, he played for Penny Hardaway
He
in
played
Memphis.
for
It was the first
Hardaway.
pick by Golden State during the pandemic.
We'll find it.
We'll find it.
But that's how they had so many picks. They had this great idea and it looked good on paper, right? Like we still have our vets, and then we have these young guys that we're bringing in too. We merge those together. We could still win now, and now when Steph and Draymond and Clay fade off, we don't have to rebuild. We don't have to go to the bottom to rebuild. We got these young guys that are going to take over. And it looked really good at the time, right? But since then...
Oh, Wiseman.
Yeah, Wiseman.
They had Jordan Poole also. You know what I'm saying? So with that, they've traded most of these people. They traded most of their picks. And now with getting Jimmy Butler, they're old again. So they're in win-now situation, but this didn't really feel like a win-now move.
No, I put a lot of this blame on Steve Kerr. I think a lot of this blame goes to Steve Kerr. He's not using his bench enough. He's not deep in his bench. You have Kuminga over there that commands, to play more. He wants to play more. Yeah. And I'm really surprised they didn't move him and why he wasn't really adamant about getting out of there so that he could play.
And they keep talking about the development of Kuminga. Like, he's developed now. Play the guy.
Yeah, but they won't play
him.
They won't play him because of the loyalty to Draymond Green, which is
it doesn't make sense to me because he's their second best player on the team. Well, besides Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But he should be the third man. They've talked about it for 3 years. This is the third year they've been talking about give this dude more minutes, and they won't do it.
Well, he plays where Draymond Green plays, and he is more of a scorer than Draymond Green, and they like the way that Draymond Green facilitates. He's willing to set screens, not have plays called for him, and give Steph the ball, set illegal screens all day. But Kuminga, when he comes in, he wants to score the ball, and I think, you have to. It's a catch-22 there, right?
So is Steve Kerr not made adjustments?
He's not
from the championship years to now.
He's not, man. He's not. And a lot of times we've seen even when they were winning championships, he was letting the team pretty much coach themselves.
Yeah.
I think Andre Iguodala was huge in helping him coach that team while he played on the actual team.
And shout out, he's getting his number retired this year too for Golden State. Which, if you win an MVP of the finals, you should. Sure. He was the glue guy of that team. Real quick, Todd has a good point that he mentioned. Crazy that the NBA trade deadline seems to get more attention than Super Bowl week. I've been watching, Fox Sports, Sports Center, stuff like that, and I was thinking that yesterday too. I'm like, bro, like the Super Bowl talk is secondary to the NBA right now, and that's crazy.
And I think the NBA did that on purpose.
Sure.
It's a little bit of payback from Christmas, because Christmas time for NBA basketball is usually
used to be NBA.
It used to be NBA, but now this year it was all football, and so NBA was like, yeah, we got something for you right before Super Bowl.
The timing was great for this past weekend for the Luka trade to go down, Luka for AD.
Yeah.
And this Saturday, there's no games on the weekend.
Yeah.
So they're like, wait, what happened? I'm still processing it. I mean, it's nuts. That was a nutty move.
Seeing him at the Laker game against the Clippers the other day, it was so weird seeing him, and then seeing him in practice yesterday shooting around with
LeBron
and Reeves, and you saw Dalton Connect in the background about to get traded.
Tragic.
But just seeing that, I'm like, how did this happen? Like, it still doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't,
but I'm happy.
And you have a lot of pundits out there. Oh, I don't think it's gonna work. Facebook GMs and Twitter owners of these teams. I don't think the chemistry, and they could have got this and they could have gotten that. The bottom line is this: they have a team right now. I think this is the first time in LeBron's career, and this may be a hot take and it may not be. I think this is the first time in LeBron's career, and he's still great. Don't get it wrong, that he's gonna be playing with a person on his same team that is better than him right now. And I think
the only argument could be Dwayne Wade in the first year in Miami.
He still wasn't.
But
he still wasn't better than LeBron. LeBron was trying to figure it out, trying to coexist with Dwayne Wade. He was still the better player. But right now, Luka, even though LeBron is still top 5 on my book, Luka is top 3, right? And so he's better than LeBron. And so that is why I think it's going to work with him being off the ball, because if you think about it, every team that LeBron has played on, he's always been better than their point guard. He's always been a better passer than their point guard and everything. And so now you're playing with a guy that's better than you in those positions right now, and he's younger than you. I think him working off the ball is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to cut. He wants to catch more lobs. He wants to be the guy that does all of that. And so I think it's going to work.
And I think it's so weird when they keep talking about LeBron's age. I'm like, I don't care about his age. Look at his game. What's he doing right now? Because he does not look any different than he's ever looked in his career.
No.
To me, he looks better because he has more game now, because he's developing more skills in different areas that he didn't have before.
Yeah.
And his IQ has grown so much because he's been in the game for 22 years.
And he's playing with better players. He doesn't just have Jamario Moon sitting in the corner over there. Y'all need to sit down somewhere when you're talking about this guy and who he's playing with. Like, I think he has a huge upside, and he should be really blessed that he has been able to play with Dwayne Wade, AD, now Luka. All of these great players that he was able to play with is phenomenal. But now he's playing with better players. He doesn't have to do as much.
And now we look at this Laker team and everybody, they don't have a center now. They trade their center. It's like the trade deadline hasn't happened. Settle down, folks. And then last night they make a big trade and get Mark Williams from Charlotte. I didn't know who he was. Most people don't, because they've won 12 games. Yeah. And he hasn't played a lot. That's the only thing. He's been injury prone at the first 3 years in his career, which a lot of people are. And that doesn't mean you're going to be injury prone forever, because he's in good shape. It's not a Zion type thing where
7 feet tall.
You're not taking care of yourself. 7 feet tall. If you go on YouTube, you can watch his highlights. This dude's a lob catcher and dunker, a rebound grabber, a shot blocker, everything you've wanted in a center. And I kept saying, we don't need a big name center. We need someone who could average 15 rebounds and 10 to 12 points a game. And he's 10 rebounds, 16 points, close to 2 blocks a game. And this fits perfectly. This is the type of center Luka wants. LeBron can play with any type of center. But, I mean, to have a center like that now, who's going to be in your starting lineup with Luka and LeBron, you can't guard either of those guys. Nobody's guarding them. Nobody's stopping them. And now you got a rim protector. You got a rebounder. And now you have Austin Reeves in there. You throw in Rui or whoever else you want to throw in there. This is a good squad. Now you look at the bench with Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, if he could stay healthy.
I think Vanderbilt is the key to this entire thing for the Lakers right now, because he's the better defender on the perimeter. He can guard anyone 1 through 5, literally. He's long. And if, like you said, if he can stay healthy, I think right now he will. And I think with Mark Williams, it's one of these situations where you see all of these great players that play for all of the bad teams and they're injured, and then all of a sudden they get traded to a better team and then they're not as injured anymore. I think this can be one of those situations where he's playing with a better team and now all of a sudden he's more available than he was with
You're more inspired. You're more motivated to play with those kind of guys that have the higher IQ. Mark Williams is just going to benefit from these two guys being able to play with Luka and LeBron.
And how do you think he feels the fact he's on a 12 or 13 win team and he just automatically got that many more wins, Frank?
He's going to love life. He's going to be in LA. He's going to be loving that. It's about to get warmer on the West Coast.
Because a lot of people didn't know who he was. Like, I didn't know who he was till I clicked his name and saw, oh, it's that big man from Duke.
He was the other guy from Duke when he was on Duke.
Yeah.
Because that's when Paolo was playing, Banchero was playing, and Wendell Moore Jr. were playing. So he was like the other guy when he was on the Duke team. So this is
real quick. Pistons acquired Dennis Schroeder in trade from Jazz.
I think that's a good look for Dennis Schroeder to be over there with that Pistons team.
Yeah. That's a record for a guy to be on 4 teams in one season.
4 teams in 1 year.
To be traded 3 times.
4 teams.
2. Yeah, because PJ Tucker was up there, but
in one season to be traded. I think that's the record.
Wow,
that's wild.
Three times since December. He was traded December 23rd the first time, and then he was traded yesterday or day before. And
yesterday and then today. But keep going on your.
No, I was going to say that he benefits from it. They're saying, well, he doesn't average double-digit rebounds, whatever. It's like all of a sudden he's going to be inspired. He's going to be motivated. He's going to want to play. You don't think that guy's going to be picking Luka's brain and picking LeBron's brain about I like the ball here. If it's okay, sir.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like he's going to be in their ear. And with a guy like JJ Redick, who is a former Dookie as well, he's going to be with that kind of mindset. Yeah. I think he's going to benefit.
And it's a guy that doesn't need he's not coming as I was a star on another team.
It's not Shaq coming.
He's coming as
exactly.
Everyone's going to know my name now, and I'm going to become a marquee role player in the NBA. The way we knew names like what's some other Laker like Devin George. Like nobody would have known his name if he wasn't playing with Shaq and Kobe, and then Shaq, Kobe, LeBron. I mean, Shaq, Kobe,
or Shannon Brown, or
Shannon
players
Brown.
like that.
You get those when you're on the Lakers, when you're on the Knicks. Like people know who you are, and your stardom rises a lot. And so for this dude to go there and be a perfect fit for this team, this is a dangerous team. I don't know any team that's going to want to play them except Denver, maybe.
Give it 3 or 4 games for them to figure it out. Give them 3 or 4 games to get in the rhythm and figure it out, and then you'll see.
It's looking like Luka might play.
I think Sunday, maybe.
He might play Saturday or Monday. They said. And
they're going to put the game on ESPN.
Real quick, Marcus Smart and a 2025 first-round pick to Washington. And Washington's about to buy out a lot of these trades you're seeing. I think he gets bought out.
Yeah, I think and that would be
look for the Lakers to try to get someone like Marcus Smart.
That's a good pick
to come off the bench as a great defender who doesn't need a lot of minutes anymore at this stage in his career.
Yeah,
a good backup point guard.
Yeah, I think it's a good look. When speaking of Mark Williams, and we could be done with him, but LeBron and Luka are walking triple doubles. Let's not forget that LeBron rebounds and Luka rebounds also. So they don't need him to have 20 rebounds.
They don't.
They need him to have 8 to 10. LeBron's probably going to get 6 to 9. Luka's going to have 6 to 9 also. And I mean, you add that up, bro. It's almost 40 rebounds, and that's every night. And so you got Rui that rebounds also. You got Vanderbilt that rebounds also. I mean, how many damn rebounds do you need?
They needed a center, and they got a center. That's what they needed.
Yeah.
I do want to see maybe in the buyout market another backup center. Like you said last night, if Christian Wood can come back, then we do have a backup center that can spread the floor.
Yep.
So that'd be a good thing. And then I think light-skinned dude that we've had that started on Saturday. What's his name? Why do I always forget his name?
Which guy?
Our starting center before Mark Williams got here.
Oh,
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes. He's a very good backup. We didn't want him to be the starter, but he's definitely a good backup. You put him in for 15, 20 minutes a game. He's going to rebound. He's going to hustle and do those things you want. So, yeah, man. As Lim said Ingram to Toronto. That's a very weird move to me. They didn't get a lot for him, but at the same time, I just think when you have an injury-prone player like Brandon Ingram, which it's sad to see because I thought he could have been a perennial all-star in this league. So it's sad to see him hurt. But going to Toronto, kind of a rebuilding team. What's you guys take on this, Frank?
All the guys that are involved in that AD trade when he went from the Pelicans to the Lakers, all the players that are involved in that trade are on different teams now.
Wow.
They're all someplace else.
And Josh Hart said the other day, I got traded for Luka.
Right. Yeah.
It's like basically got traded for Luka.
I again, like you said, if Ingram can stay healthy, I think that he can contribute in a big way to Toronto. I don't know if Toronto would be considered a rebuilding team. I don't know. I don't know where they're at. Toronto is a hard market because, like in New York, they have a very high cost of living, and a lot of players aren't in love with the idea of being in Toronto because it's so expensive to live there. So it's hard to convince a lot of guys to go there as free agents. So you've got to make
with Drake
moves
being
like
there,
this.
getting battle rapped and winning Grammys, stuff like that.
You got dissed, and you know the guy won 5 Grammys over it. So yeah, it's not great. But yeah, I like Ingram. I wish he wasn't always hurt. It sucks.
Yeah. And real quick, I do, since I mentioned hip hop real quick, I do have to give condolences to Irv Gotti's family. He passed away yesterday.
52.
Way too young to be going. He had been dealing with diabetes for the last couple years. I am friends with Chris Gotti, and he's a client of mine. So me and him talked about Irv a lot. Even talked about his health a little bit before in the past. Chris is older than Irv. That's his big brother. So to lose a little brother like that, I know Chris is devastated. We texted a little bit last night. So condolences to that. I know 50 Cent had some remarks and was laughing at it.
50's a troll. He's
a troll. I'll blow that off. But condolences to the Lorenzo family. Irv Gotti, Lorenzo, Chris Gotti, Lorenzo. Sad, man. 52 years old. So take care of your health. That's really what it comes down to. Like, when you're 52, you shouldn't be dealing with diabetes.
He co-founded Murder Inc.
Murder Inc. I mean, he ran Murder Inc. Chris was more in the background. Irv was kind of the face of Murder Inc. They did a lot in hip hop. So it's sad to see. So just pray for their family, man.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Brandon Ingram.
I think this is going to continue with the rest of his career. He's just going to be injury prone. When he played for the Lakers, I thought that, and I'm not a Laker guy. I said, you guys need to get rid of him. And we want to keep B.I. We want to keep him. And I'm like, look, man, he's not it. And he went over to the Pelicans, and he's not it there. And so I think over in Toronto, it's just more of the same. They got a lot of young guys over in Toronto that can ball. So it's kind of interesting to see what Toronto is going to do or what direction they're kind of heading.
And he had just signed a big contract with New Orleans, right? So this isn't like he has 1 year left and they made this trade to get rid of his contract.
Yeah.
You have to be looking at him in Toronto like, we trust that he's going to be healthy, which I don't understand why you would trust that, but or we hope that he's going to be healthy and can be one of the stars on our team. It's a gamble for Toronto, I think, doing this. But if he can stay healthy, they got a really good player and didn't really give up too much. But it's a big contract, so if he can't be healthy, it kind of backfires.
Emmanuel Quickly, R.J. Barrett, Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Podol.
That's what I'm saying. Scotty Barnes and that's a good squad, man.
It's a good squad.
Yeah.
So if Ingram can come in there and make some noise and play 70 games a season, they'll be good, right? But if this is a 40-game season Brandon Ingram that we've been seeing, it might be a little more difficult.
Right.
Shout out to Joanna Cooper, hola, in the chat. DS will fit in well with those young guys in Rock City. Who's DS? But anyways, and then he was letting us know Jackson Hayes, because I cannot get anyone's name today. doing way too much. What are some of the other trades that have happened, Dre? Pull up some of those trades, and what are some that really interest you right now?
I think Wiggins going over to Miami, he brings them defense, he brings them effort, he's bringing them, and he's not going to need plays called for him, kind of like Jimmy Buckets. He is a better Jimmy Buckets in a Miami system. He's a system guy, and I think he's coming without ego, right? He's coming without huge expectations about getting the ball, and then as of late, he's been healthy. And I think that's what Miami is looking for. They just want people who actually want to play and that are healthy. And I think he's going to be good in that system. So that's one trade. Another trade I'm very interested is, how do you feel about that, Wiggins in Miami?
I like Wiggins in Miami. He's getting like a fresh start kind of thing. I think that he'd play off pretty well. Him and Hero would be kind of fun together.
I mean,
to watch.
him and Kevin Love got traded for each other in Cleveland, and now they're playing together in Miami.
That's right.
I think in his eyes, I think he feels like this is a compliment, because Pat Riley just doesn't trade people just to pick up people.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he picks up some, guys that have really made good lives for themselves over in that Miami system, and I think Wiggins is going to benefit from that. Another one is very interesting. Kuzma to the Bucks for Middleton. I knew that the Bucks were going to give up on Middleton. I thought maybe that they would go with the Jimmy Butler route, which would be more of a dog in that situation. But they bring Kuzma in. He's young. He's played with the Lakers. He has a championship with the Lakers, so he has some type of championship pedigree. I just don't necessarily think that he is a Middleton replacement. I think this is a temporary fix. I don't think it makes the Bucks that much better, because I would still put Connaughton.
Bucks have been making some bad moves, bro.
I don't know.
Even going to coaching, like fighting Budenholzer, and then hiring Griffin, and then firing him halfway through the season, trading for Dame when you had a point guard that right now was and is playing better than Dame in that system. And now you see him in Boston. He went to Boston in Drew Holiday and won a championship with them. Dame is good, but he doesn't seem to fit what they were doing before that. Does Kuzma fit anything in there? I think it benefits Kuzma being on a veteran team, because I feel like Kuzma was a little immature in Washington. I just don't think that organization was good.
He's still a little OC, and he wants to. He's in his mind, fashionably, he still wants to be the man. And you're not going to be the man on this team, not with Dame Dollar, and you got the Greek Freak over there. So I think if Doc Rivers can settle him down and just tell him to play a certain role, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
does this really make
it does not
Milwaukee
move
a championship contender?
No, it does not move the needle for Milwaukee.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to check the number real quick for
It'll move that
where
needle.
they're at. They before the season started, they were 10-1 to win the title. I thought that's crazy odds. Currently, they're 25-1. I think as of a week ago, they were probably 25 to 30-1. So it really hasn't moved it that much.
Because the thing is, Middleton had been playing really well this season too once he came back from injury. So I think this is more of a trade that we don't trust Middleton being healthy, and some teams just make a move to make a move, and this is kind of what that felt like.
Right.
If you're trading an all-star like Middleton, I'd want more. And if I can't get more, then I'm keeping Middleton.
Well,
sure.
I'm not in love with the trade for Milwaukee.
And I think Middleton at some point with the Wizards, now that the Wizards have gotten other players over there via trade, he's not going to be there long. He's probably going to go to a veteran team, maybe come off the bench and give you some really good minutes. That's what I see.
Yeah.
But I don't see Middleton staying over in D.C.
You'd rather have Kuzma. If you're Kuzma, you'd rather be in Milwaukee than you would in Washington, because you have no idea what the Wizards are planning to do.
Oh, not at all.
They're getting ready to call up, the Baldwin from the G League right now to play as of yesterday. I don't know what the plan is in Washington, but I don't think they do either. They're the one team we're talking about. We're in Vegas after all. It's a betting aspect. The Wizards haven't been favored to win a game once this year.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
they could. You said they're pulling up Baldwin. Is it Alec? Because he can shoot.
They're going to pull out.
He can shoot. He's
my
a great
goodness.
shooter.
They're
He's a
pulling
great
Alec
shot.
Baldwin.
He kills it.
He really does.
Yeah. But Washington, we saw what OKC wanted to do when they were rebuilding, right? We saw what Houston wanted to do when they were rebuilding. We saw their plan. We said they're going to be bad for a few years for sure. But what OKC did stacking up draft picks was the most amazing thing I've ever seen any team do. And when you're not a team like the Lakers or the Knicks that's going to pull free agents and people want to flock there, you build through the draft. What they've done in OKC is what every team like a Washington should look at doing. But they don't look like they have a rebuild plan. And so now they just look like they're going to be in the mud for a very long time.
Okay, I just clarified this. They called up Patrick Baldwin to include him in the trade, so he's going to Milwaukee too.
Interesting.
To make money offset. The Bucks also sent A.J. Johnson, the rookie, back to Washington.
Washington's
He's
a young
actually
team.
good. I like A.J. Johnson, though.
Washington's a young team. I mean, they're probably setting the stage to try to get that little kid from Duke. He may go to the Wizards. Cooper
Flag.
Yeah,
Cooper Flag.
So
poor kid.
we'll see. And if they do get Cooper Flag, then maybe that him and Jordan Poole, and then maybe adding a couple other veteran pieces around there, they may be able to do something. I don't know.
And the thing I like about the NBA is you can't tank to get the number one pick like you can in the NFL.
No.
So this is something where they're, we've seen most of the teams that have the worst record not getting the first pick.
But they will have an opportunity.
They'll have an opportunity for sure.
For sure.
But whoever gets Cooper Flag is going to be really good. There was a post today, right when I opened up Instagram at like 8:30 in the morning, and it was I can't think of any names today. I need to get more sleep before I do shows. Chet Holmgren said breaking news. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and
they're like, he'll be back.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro.
They just put a thing on
They
ESPN.
did that on purpose.
That ESPN just said, breaking news, Kevin Durant will not be traded.
Breaking news, Chet Holmgren finished a sandwich today.
Chet Holmgren gained half a pound.
Look, yeah.
But with him being out in OKC, still doing what they've done, and they haven't had him most of the season. He's been out since November. This is one of my favorite teams to watch. Like I was saying last week, me and you talked about it before the show started today. It's been boring basketball. The product hasn't been that good. The trade deadline is changing everything, but OKC is one of those teams you could watch. They love to play basketball. They love playing together. They have a system of how they play. They're not just shooting up random shots. They're very fun to watch. With Chet Holmgren coming back, this team could win the championship. I know they're still young.
They could.
But they could win the championship because they don't realize they're young. And that's what I was saying last year in the playoffs. They don't realize they're not supposed to be here yet. And they are. And they look really good. And
they're like ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're very fun to watch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know who is going to be really fun to watch? And I never thought that I would say this.
Lakers?
Nope. One of the teams that we kind of grew up and it was just like, I hate when they come on TV. It wasn't the Utah Jazz. It was the other team, the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs make me want to watch them now that Fox is there. He had a debut last night that I knew he would have. I wanted him to go there. It was actually one of the trades that I really wanted to see happen, and it made it happen. Fox and Wemby, along with the veteran leadership of CP3 over in San Antonio, with those young studs over there, Sohan, come on, man. This team here, they are setting themselves up to be a team that will compete year in and year out if they're able to keep these guys healthy.
And this is another team that we could talk about knowing how to rebuild and do things
the
right way.
I want to watch the Spurs play is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We talked about it on Monday. This is the more athletic version of Tony Parker and Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
where a lot of people thought they were boring
right?
and stuff like that. Yeah, which if you know basketball, the Spurs were never boring.
No,
with Duncan and Ginobili and Tony Parker, but this is a very athletic version of them. That this is going to be a 10-year or more team together, most likely.
The thing,
and this is going to be fun to watch.
With the Spurs back then, it was the efficiency and how fluid they were. This team is younger, athletic, and yes, they also happen to be fluid, and they could potentially be dangerous for years to come. Obviously, CP3 is not going to be around forever, but he is setting up a mindset and how to play in a system. He's a coach on the floor. Yeah. He's working with these younger guys and showing them this is how you carry yourself as a professional.
Yep.
And I think, gosh, wouldn't you want to be an NBA player who could play with Wemby? I mean, at some point in your life, that guy's just an alien. Yeah, it's wild.
And what happened to Sacramento? They were looking like that they're on the way to being championship contenders just 2 years ago, and they've taken a deep fall. Dre, what do you think? What do you think happened? Because they didn't change a lot of personnel. They had the same players going into last year that they did the year before when they went 7 games against Golden State in the playoffs. What happened to the Kings? Because this looked like a team that was going to be like Oklahoma City and Houston. We would think that they would be, instead of Houston and OKC being 1, 2, and 3, we thought by this time in their careers that this is where Sacramento would be in the top 4 of the Western Conference.
Well, I'm going to go ahead.
And now they're number 9.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I think the fans and the players are losing confidence in the ownership over in Sacramento. And I think it starts with the firing of Mike Brown. The players did not like that. The players didn't like the fact that Mike Brown got canned while they were having a winning season. Don't understand that move. And then they brought in
5 months after he won Coach of the Year.
Right. And then they brought in, another head coach. And then they got in DeMar DeRozan, which I thought was a really good move, for the Sacramento Kings. And I think once you lose confidence in the players and who they really wanted to rally behind in Mike Brown, that is what catapulted Fox to say, you know what, man, if they did him like that, bro, I don't want to be here, man. This ain't it, right? And so I think you're going to start seeing more changes. Even though they did get Zach LaVine, he's been a little injury prone throughout his career. They bring in some scoring and shooting. Him and DeMar DeRozan played together over in Chicago. They're going to now be playing in Sacramento, in Sacktown they call it. But at the same time, they're probably going to be moving on from this Sabonis thing within the next couple of years, and they're going to end up right where Atlanta is with a bunch of guys that's just trying to make it happen. And so it's just really tragic how Sacramento was in good playoff games with Golden State Warriors, giving them a run for their money. And I'm like, wait a minute, this Sacramento team is
that was a good series.
They could have won that series.
Yeah,
it was the best, one of the best series that year.
Yeah, they're on the up and coming, and they're playing really good. And then to get rid of your coach of the year
makes no sense.
I think it was deflating to the team.
And there's some franchises that are just bad. They just make bad decisions over and over again. Sacramento's been one of them. They've only had one stint of in their whole career or their whole existence in Sacramento where they were good, and that was the Chris Webber, Mike Bibby era.
Yeah.
And other than that, they've been kind of tragic before and after, and for them to get to that point to where they were kind of the talk of the league, and they were the funnest team to watch for a while. That was a team I was watching a lot. Like, I loved watching De'Aaron Fox. I loved how just motivated they all were to play with each other. They were happy. What's the thing when they
light the beam?
Light the beam.
Yeah.
Like they had something fun they were doing for the fans, and now it looks like, what are we doing again? Now we're just a trash franchise again.
It feels like they're starting things over again.
So a little bit on the wire. Los Angeles Clippers trade Kevin Porter Jr. to the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that is a good look that gives them another dog at the point guard position. So the Bucks are actually picking up some pretty decent role players to fit with Giannis and Dame Dollar.
And where's
but
Milwaukee?
I'm trying to
Milwaukee's 5th right now in the East,
Yeah.
13 games out of 1st. So them and Indiana are basically tied for 4th and 5th, and they're 6 games behind New York for 3rd.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. You're basically going to try to get that 4th seed,
Right.
going into the playoffs.
And so I think them moving him, it brings a little space for the Clippers. They brought in Bogdanovic from Atlanta, but they trade away Bones Highland and
Terrence Mann.
Yep. But I'm just trying to figure out what the Clippers are doing, because right now at the shooting guard position, you have Powell now, you have Bogdanovic, you have Kawhi Leonard. Like, what are they? What is their identity? What are they really trying to do? I don't know what the Clippers are doing. I'm happy for Kevin Porter getting a second opportunity for some off the court issues, and now he'll be able to be in a better situation in Milwaukee than he was with the Clippers.
And I think a lot of these players are players that can play the small forward and shooting guard, so you kind of move them around. I think Kawhi's their starting small forward.
Yeah.
But we don't. Is he? How long is he playing? I mean, I give him 2 more weeks before he's out again for 6 to 7 weeks. And he was back the other night when Lakers blew them out. So he'll never be the player he used to be. We just need to face that. But yeah, this Clipper team is in a weird position too, because James Harden is quietly having an amazing year again. So I mean, yeah, they made some moves, because I just think they felt stagnant too, so they had to do something. But Terrence Mann,
I like Terrence Mann.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
But he got his playing time diminished when James Harden came over and really took over the point guard position. And that's what Terrence Mann, he's like a good, backup point guard. Bones Highland is too. And so it's really interesting to see what Atlanta is going to do with some of these picks. I don't think Atlanta is finished because Atlanta just now traded Cody Zeller to the Rockets. For 2028 second round pick. So I mean, this helps the Rockets.
That's a good pickup for the Rockets.
Yeah,
it's a solid, big
You got a
man.
good big there.
Yeah. So Rockets, are a team that needs to really be watched. And then please watch, even though trade deadline should be over here.
It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Watch how many teams buy out a lot of players, so there's still a lot of activity.
You start seeing the next three or 4 days where you start seeing the players get bought out, and then there's a period where you have to wait before you can start signing them. But the buyout market is almost like another trade deadline, where there's a lot of movement, and now you see the teams that are trying to make a playoff push, trying to get over the hump in the playoffs, signing some of these guys. And like we said, Marcus Smart, I think for sure is getting bought out. And there's going to be a bidding,
Middleton might
possibly, but there's going to be a bidding war for Marcus Smart. I think he's going to have a good 5 teams that are really going to be going after
Schroeder,
him.
maybe, even though he gets traded to Detroit, you just never know in that situation. But PJ Tucker,
Can you imagine Schroeder?
5 teams in a season.
Yeah, PJ Tucker may get bought out, and so now you're looking at a Laker team where I don't know, a week ago they were like, well, who's going to play defense? We got Luka. Who's going to play defense? Okay, you got Mark Williams coming in. Now on the buyout market, you have a Marcus Smart. You have a PJ, guys who could come in and play defense on the perimeter.
And they've already been playing better defense. We saw it against New York, and then we saw it against the Clippers, playing defense without a center. So their defense is fine. And we play in a league where there's not a lot of defense anyways. Like, people act like there's just defensive teams out there. There's some teams that are better defensively than others, but there's not crazy defensive teams like the Knicks or the Pistons of the 80s and 90s.
I think Charlotte's gotten better now that they got Yusuf Nurkic, and they traded him for Cody Martin. But I think Charlotte's gotten better, even though they traded away their young big who was, in and out of the lineup. You bring in Yusuf, he commands a little. You still got Lonzo Ball. Then you got Dalton
Melo Ball.
Connect, who is actually going to get
Connect's
more.
gonna get minutes.
He's going to get more playing time. I think this is going to be, and then you have the rookie of the year that they had last year, Charlotte.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty decent team.
They got a good young squad. It's just they've always had a good young squad that never wins any games. And this
still
is kind
got
of
Miles
what
Bridges.
Charlotte's been.
Oh, Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. You still got Miles Bridges. I mean, he may be on the move after next year. You never know.
But I mean, 12 wins. They're second to last in the East. So obviously they're not doing anything this year, but they have to do something to turn this thing around. And with them having so many good young players, I don't know, what that means for them in the future. Like, do you have to get better coaching or, I mean, there's been new ownership, new coaching, new GMs. I just don't know what is happening. That's another one of those franchises that are just always bad.
So let me ask you guys this question. Karis LeVert being traded from the Cleveland Cavs to Atlanta for DeAndre Hunter. Do you think that is DeAndre Hunter, in my opinion, I think Karis LeVert is the better athlete, better all-around player. DeAndre Hunter is a better shooter from the perimeter, and I think that's why the Cavs went out and got him, because he's the better shooter. Does this make the Cavs that more legit? Was he that missing piece?
It's very possible. I think he fits them maybe better than LeVert might have. But
do you assume that the two teams that are leading the conferences right now are going to end up as the 1 seeds?
I do. I think Boston has a chance to maybe take over Cleveland, but the way Cleveland's playing, they're not looking like they're going to lose that position.
To answer your question, I think that it helps with their spacing. It benefits Donovan a lot. It's going to benefit Garland a lot.
It's a better fit. I think it's a better fit.
I think it's a good fit for sure.
And for a team like that to be able to pull him when you're already one of the best teams in the league, second best team in the league, record-wise, is a huge move for them to make it to trade deadline, because sometimes you're scared to mess with any type of chemistry. But yeah, that was a big move for them. That was actually surprising to me to see that. I didn't think that Cleveland would be making any moves, and I don't think OKC made any moves, did they?
I don't think they did.
Yeah. And it's rare to see teams that have pretty much been on the top of their conference for the whole year to make many moves on the trade deadline. So that was kind of a surprise to me, but it definitely, I think, is a better fit. And interested to see.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, there's 7 or 8 teams, I think, in the league that have, in the association, 7 or 8 teams that have winning records. And the Thunder are like 15-4 or 14-3 against those teams. And we're talking about the Lakers making up ground. Okay, everybody's got about 30 games left, essentially, for the schedule. You got 30 games left. The Lakers play the Nuggets 3 times. The Lakers are going to play the Thunder 3 times. They're going to play the Rockets 2 or 3 times. So there's an opportunity for them kind of to gain ground. I think it's important for in either conference. It's important for these guys to position themselves in that top 4 spots, and for teams like Memphis, Houston, and OKC, because they're younger teams, they probably would love to have the familiarity of playing in their own arenas, to have playoff advantage.
Another good thing with you saying that they play all these teams 2 or 3 times is the fact before the playoffs, you're going to be able to see how you match up against the teams that you're going to match up against in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So that's actually good that LeBron and Luka get to play against them multiple times in the regular season.
They play OKC like on back-to-back games, I think, like in March or April. They play Houston twice in the same week, I think, in March. And they play Denver like in a 10-day span twice. So, I mean, obviously you're going to get a good sample size before. And there's all, and like the schedule, I just kind of look about it. Like, I'm a schedule nerd. Is like you look ahead that they've got 5 or 6 games before they play any of those teams. So the Lakers can kind of get into their rhythm and see how they're feeling, how they're playing together.
I believe they got the Warriors tonight, who should probably be shorthanded. Jimmy's not going to be ready to play yet.
He won't be playing, no.
And then they've lost quite a few players. So
Luka
Lakers
might not
should
be
win
playing
tonight.
this weekend.
Luka's not playing tonight for sure. He might play Saturday. If not, he'll probably play Monday.
They said that ESPN is trying to add the broadcast that if he plays Saturday, it would be 10 a.m. our time. If he plays Saturday morning against Indiana, they would have the game on to show his debut.
Yeah.
They'd add it.
We played that early on Saturday?
Because it's a... Oh, no. I'm sorry. It's a 1 o'clock game. You're
1
right.
o'clock. Okay.
You want to play in the morning? You want to play breakfast game?
That's early.
Trey Young for Brown in Boston. Just kidding.
Just slipped under there. Like, what happened? What? Really? Cool.
No, I think it's going to be, I think moving forward, the NBA did a really good job at marketing the trades, timing of the trades, getting a little bit of payback to the NFL for ruining their Christmas, day for basketball. And at the same time, it's giving a refreshed look at the NBA, and it's gonna bring fans back to actually see, whoa, I'm gonna see Luka. I'm gonna get a chance to see Fox over in San Antonio. I still want to see OKC do their thing. And just Jimmy buckets over in Golden State. So I think it's just adding to the nostalgia of the NBA and the fact that.
And here's the thing with the Jimmy Butler trade, folks. If it doesn't work out, you only have about 30 games left in the season. Golden State is 25-25, so they have 50 games, 32 games left for the Warriors. They're in 11th spot right now, which is one spot out of the play-in. Warriors missed the playoffs last year, so there's a chance that they might not even make the playoffs, and they're making this big move. So we might not even see playoff Jimmy.
Right.
The West is very tough. Like Frank said earlier, the West got a lot of the trades. They got a lot of the big players.
That Golden State
trades.
Warriors team is not going to beat a Houston team in a 7-game series. I just don't see it. Houston are dogs. OKC are dogs. I just don't.
Who do
see.
they beat? Right now we have OKC 1, Memphis 2, Houston 3, Denver 4, Lakers 5, Clippers 6, Minnesota 7, Dallas 8, Sacramento 9, Phoenix 10.
Maybe Clippers. I think Clippers are going to continue to come down a little bit. They could probably beat the Clippers because you just don't know. You're not going to beat a Golden State Warrior team with Norman Powell being your best shooter over there, right? And so you're going to need Kawhi Leonard to be in, and we don't know if his knee is capable for that.
Yeah, we don't think
Jimmy
it is.
Buckets, he's going to eat on him.
Yeah.
And so, Golden State, they could, I don't know, bro. They could beat the Clippers right now. They may be able to beat Memphis because Memphis have not been playing that great of basketball, and I don't think they've made any moves outside of getting rid of Marcus Smart.
No.
Yeah.
Who wasn't playing anyway. He was on the sideline.
Yeah, he wasn't even playing. Who does Golden State overtake if they do get into the playoffs? And with San Antonio being better, they're only 2 games behind Golden State to get in that 10th spot too. Golden State and Phoenix are tied. San Antonio, with the move they made to get De'Aaron Fox, could creep up there and get into the play-in.
I think they will.
So we're going to see a good team not make the play-in.
It'd be funny.
Is it going to be Sacramento? Is it going to be Phoenix?
It would be funny, Dre, if Durant's telling everybody, he's like, I don't want a reunion with the Warriors, and then they take the spot from the Suns because they're right behind them.
Yeah,
they're tied for the same spot right now. But
I'm getting a little tired of KD every couple of years wanting to go to another team, and it's dude, make your mind up, like where you want to be. Like seriously, like every couple of years it's like KD's gonna go here, KD's gonna go there. I got a feeling that KD wants to go to the Mavs, which would not. They have the assets, they have the players to send over to Phoenix. Phoenix should have never got rid of their entire team to get KD in the first place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we do have some footage of Laker practice yesterday that I wanted to play. Bronny and Luka actually carpooled together to the game.
Silly.
And we're going to watch that.
We
I mean, you can already see the chemistry, with the players.
Luka looks a little thick. Looks like he may have gained 77 pounds.
280.
I think he landed and went to In-N-Out.
Think so.
Maybe.
And obviously, you could tell he was not eating his burger animal style.
Well, and if Bronny doesn't work in the NBA, like, he's a good singer.
Maybe there's a music career in the future.
Bronny is better than all of your friends that play basketball. And mine, too. So,
I don't know.
saying.
I got some friends that were in the NBA, so
And
I'm
mine,
not
too.
sure.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, my average friends, I agree, but,
Yeah.
I think we both have some friends that played it in the league, so.
Yeah, I got.
I mean,
friends.
but he's better than them now because they're in.
I got some friends that play in the league, and yeah, I mean the fact that he's in the league, he's playing, and when he does go to the D League, he's balling in the D League.
Yeah.
It's not like they're
G League.
like the G League.
Don't
He's
disrespect
balling.
Gatorade.
He's really really balling down there, and so. What can you say? I mean, I can't go to the G League right now and do what he's doing.
I have a pet peeve. Every time I'm live, whether it be Unnamed Sports Show or Speak Life, I have more friends texting me about what's going on in the show, Todd, than actually talking in the chat.
Bro.
When you talk in the chat, it helps with the algorithm when you comment in the chat, when you like the video. We have 4 likes. We have 6 people watching. Please like the video, share the replay of the video, and don't text me. Like, talk to me in the chat.
Nah, bro.
Talk to us
Todd,
in the chat.
get it together.
We could put it on the screen and all that stuff. And like Goose said, I don't think it makes a difference with that trade. Levert may have just ran his course. And going back to that Cleveland trade. Yeah, listen, folks, it's 12:35. We have been here for 1 hour and 1 minute. And, we're going to be back, though. There's going to be a lot to talk about. Tune in tomorrow. We're going to be wearing the same clothes, me and Frank, on tomorrow's show because we're recording it today. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. We have a special guest in the studio, and we're going to be doing a cookie taste test with Lamia from Lammy's Bakehouse. And we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl, doing our picks, doing the prop bets, all that fun stuff today. Dre, if you want to come back and forth, you're invited to
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. We'll have Lamia. We'll have Michael Michelle in the building. Might show some more of her slap clips. But yeah, man, a lot of trades. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on these trades. What trades work? What teams do you think got better? And real quick before we go, what teams got better during this trade deadline?
I would like to say that the Lakers got better. I want to say that Dallas got better, but they didn't. They lost a guy that single-handedly almost took them to the championship by himself. No shade towards Kyrie.
And so to say you got better, you have to win the championship, right? Or at least win 2 games in the NBA Finals because they only won 1 last year, right?
Yeah. So I would say the Lakers got better. I would say Golden State got better. Milwaukee got a little better. Only because you're going to get more consistency in a healthy Kuzma than you did out of Middleton, and then you pick up Porter. I think that's a great pick for them.
Yeah.
I would say those teams right there. I think Charlotte has gotten better.
But with them being so low, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But
it's not going to make any
I don't think
noise.
that Sacramento got better, and I think right now
Sacramento probably got worse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you losing somebody that's going to be a perennial all-star in this league.
Yeah.
Or somebody that's a perennial injured player in this league.
Yeah. I think the number 2 teams on the top of my list that have gotten even better than the Lakers, I think San Antonio with the Fox move and Hunter over in Cleveland just helps them moving forward.
Yeah.
And so that would be San Antonio 1, Lakers 2, Cleveland 3, top 3 right there. Teams that have gotten better.
Right.
I get the same. I might flip flop one or two, but I like. I think the Spurs got better with De'Aaron Fox being added. That's probably my number one. And I think the Lakers got better just because of the basketball IQ of LeBron and Luka being together on the court. I think that's going to be big for them and for everybody else that happens to be on the court at the same time. And I would say Hunter to Cleveland is very interesting for like a team like we said, the West. The top 2 or 3 teams didn't really add a person, and then Cleveland is bringing in Hunter. Maybe they think that kind of puts them over the top to be able to secure the East. I mean,
We'll see.
We'd love to see them in a series. We still want to see them play the series with Boston, maybe for East Coast Finals. Yeah.
And I want to say that every playoff team in the Eastern Conference got better by Jimmy Butler leaving the East.
Sure.
Because you don't want to see Jimmy Butler in the playoffs ever. And Miami has still been good without him playing. They're 6th in the East. So I think now you haven't played with Jimmy Butler and you're still 6. Now you get Andrew Wiggins. So I think Miami got better because Jimmy Butler wasn't playing. I'm not saying they're better without Butler. I'm just saying they got better because he wasn't playing.
And they'll be motivated.
And the players were sick of him too, because it's like, come on, bro, like we're all here, and we saw the fight last year too. So this didn't just happen this year; like they were fighting with each other. on the bench.
I'm gonna name a couple of teams that I think you need to watch out for on the East during this waiver wire situation that's going to happen within the next week, and look at these 2 teams at picking up a couple of players that may actually help them in the playoffs. That's one, Indiana. Look out for Indiana. We haven't seen any moves from them, but I think they're going to wait for the waiver wire to kind of pick up 1 or 2 players to kind of help them. Marcus Smart, PJ Tucker, these guys are really good molds and fits for what the Pacers are doing, and the Knicks.
Marcus Smart would be great there too.
And watch the Knicks.
He would fit them.
And then the Knicks,
Knicks need to
picking
do
up on somebody in the waiver wire. So there you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and Lakers definitely got better in the West, and I think OKC, by not making any moves, stayed good. And then I just don't think Warriors got any better getting Jimmy Butler, especially for this year. Let's see how they play this year, try to get in the playoffs, and see if this is something moving forward, if they want to keep doing. And if it doesn't work, does Steph ask for a trade this summer?
No, he don't. He's not leaving.
We will see, folks.
They're going to bring out the Brinks truck.
Yeah.
We will see. All right, folks, we're out. Follow us. Subscribe to the channel at Unnamed Sports Show on all social media. We thank everyone for watching and tuning in. Please share the live stream.
Yeah,
share the replay. And tune in tomorrow on the channel. We will have the Super Bowl episode. Or the big game. We can't call it Super Bowl.
Big game.
Because Pat Riley trademarked that too, or what?
Yeah.